16th, 2017. Call the meeting to order. Roll call of directors.
House.
Here.
Barnes.
Here.
Lewis.
Here.
Gorman. Here. Kaiser.
Here.
Kramer. Here. Steele.
Here.
Tomczyk.
Oh.
Zebro. Here. Lauren Kaiser. Here. All present.
Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4 is the approval of the agenda.
Motion approved.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion from the board.
I'd like to make a motion to move line item number 9 to line item 4A. Have a public forum next, and then I'll second my motion.
That's not a motion. We're in discussion. We have a motion and a second
Thank you.
currently on the floor. So we do have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board? I'll engage in some further discussion. We do have a large public group here tonight. Moving into closed session would move them into a hallway. So I do understand where you're coming from, Kevin. I just wanted to correct.
Yeah.
Everybody's not here. So we do have a motion and a second on the floor.
Mr. Chairman, we should have planned that. We knew that there was going to be a big crowd. I warned this body the last time we were together that there would be a big crowd for this meeting. I even said we should have it at a different venue. But going forward, we have an agenda that's what's posted. If we change things around, people may miss the public forum because they think, well, they're going to be in closed session for a few minutes.
True.
And then now we've screwed them out of their opportunity to talk. So I think it would behest this board to keep the public understanding that we follow our agenda and we maintain the agenda we posted, and we observe that this evening.
Any further discussion for the board? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is movement into closed executive session. The board will go into closed executive session pursuant to section 19.851E of the Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of further review of the current 4K program and making a decision on the direction and implementation of the 4K program for the 2017-2018 school year. Section 19.85E reads, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business, whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. So once the room clears of the public, we will move into closed session.
Seriously?
Okay,
Okay, wait, I can't.
further discussion from the board.
I'm going to plan something in the hallway.
Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
The good news is, I'm only going to charge you $2 to get your seat back. I was wondering what the deal was. You know, you're always thinking, I have to give you credit for you. Yeah.
We're back in open session. Moving on in the agenda, we're on item number 7, which is the approval of the minutes. We have 4 sets of minutes there. There was one brief revision to the minutes from Tuesday, April 18th of 2017. I was identified incorrectly as president. I was not board president at that time. And then secondarily, there was just a typo on a date, 2017-18 school year. So looking for motions with those 2 changes on the April 18th
I
meeting.
will make the motion to approve A, B, C, and D.
I'll second.
I have a problem with the April 18th minutes. I do not remember voting in favor of the contract with school perceptions for athletic service. I believe I was the only no vote.
Were you? Okay. I'll change it then.
Your
With
motion
that, I
includes
will,
those changes?
yes.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve all 4 sets of minutes as presented. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 8 is the student board member monthly report and then the introduction of our new student board member. Floor is yours.
So on May 18th, the TNT Club will be going on a field trip to Wildwood Life Center in Minocqua for their end of the year trip. Senate is already planning homecoming 2017. Their end of the year banquet is tomorrow. DECA had eight students competing in the International Career Development Conference in Anaheim, California. Our current president completed the Thrive Academy, and our president-elect completed the Elevate Conference, learning a whole new system of leadership for their summer retreat. Mrs. Russ was one of the 4 high school teachers in the nation awarded a $1,000 scholarship to attend a summer conference and a medal for the outstanding service and scholarship qualification. The Motown Market received its Gold Certification Award for meeting expectations in all business elements. Students will be able to attend a leadership and competitive conference by Wisconsin DECA in July, and officer-elects will be attending a leadership retreat in June. Lastly, there will be an end-of-the-year sidewalk sale at the Motown Market this month during Community Days, so you should check it out. Governor Walker visited Mosinee High School last Thursday, and I had the chance, as well as many other students, to hear and give him a tour of Mosinee Manufacturing and the Motown Market. Quick sports update. Varsity baseball is 6-4 in conference. Varsity softball is 6-1 in conference. Girls varsity soccer is 2-6 with 1 tie. Track had a conference meet today, this afternoon. It was home. The dance team had tryouts for the 2017-2018 school year, and the team is officially chosen. So this is Carly Pennell. She will be the school board representative next year. So as a junior next year, I will be taking upon the role of Student Senate President, and I'm very excited, and I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to serve on this board.
Thank you, Lauren. Come back and visit.
I will.
Carly, we look forward to working with you and hearing your monthly report.
Mr. President, I want to add that I was present at Governor Walker's visit to our school district, along with State Senator Jerry Petrusky and State Representative John Spiros. Although I didn't speak directly to the governor very much, both of Representative Spiros and Senator Petrusky said to me that while Mosinee agreed with their students shine, they were very, very impressed, and as was I, standing there and watching them present. It was really well done.
Thank you.
You guys did great.
You guys did a great job, Lauren.
Thank you. Also, I hope you enjoyed your bread.
Yes.
I just wanted to add that because it came up in your report, how impressed I am with the Mosinee DECA program, and also recently in the correspondence there, the Motown Market was named Best School Store in the nation and received a grant as a result of that. And I just think that's something to be celebrated in our schools. So I'm very impressed.
They're a very strong club, and you can tell in the schools.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Lauren.
Thank you.
Best of luck to the Senate.
Thank you so much.
Now go study.
We'll move on to item number 9, which is the public forum. The public forum provides the public with the opportunity to ask questions about or address issues included on the school board meeting agenda. General operating rules of the public forum will be determined by the board president once the number of people wishing to speak is identified on the night of the meeting. Prior to addressing the board, please clearly state your name and address. Anyone in the audience this evening that would like to address the board? A show of hands. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A hesitant 6. Okay. What we're going to do is Matt Barnes will be keeping time. We'll allow 3 minutes. He will raise his hand when you have about 30 seconds left, just to give you an idea. But why don't we just go ahead and start with Mr. Bruss.
Okay. I'm Andy Bruss. I'm the boys basketball coach. I also coach football, and I teach tech ed at the high school. I'm here on behalf of our coaching staff. We have some concerns about the athletic survey that we saw showed up on the last board minutes. And just looking at the project scope from the proposal, it says that the district is interested in surveying student athletes and parents to gauge overall satisfaction, and that the administration cost would be $350 per season. We hadn't heard anything about this, so we're a little concerned whenever we hear about surveys. We already offer a survey through Zach. It's one of our evaluation tools. that happens for free, there's no cost. And it's one of the things we get evaluated with. So I guess I have some concerns that the district is looking at getting involved without any information to the coaches. You're gonna spend money, you know, I've heard anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 from the little I've heard about it, to administrative survey that we already do. You know, our basketball budget is $700. So rather than spending the money on that survey, it sure would be nice if maybe you bump that money down. So I didn't have to spend the last 20 hours running the concession stand for the track meet over there, for something we already do. So I guess we've got some other people who are gonna talk about it, but that's my take on it. So thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bress.
Yep.
Mr. McCarty, was your hand up?
Yep. Tom McCarty, I teach at the high school, coach as well, 905 16th Street. Just wanted to echo the same concerns regarding that same survey for a lot of the same reasons. But mostly I wanted to say if you don't like part of the evaluation we have, we're open to collaboration and talking rather than putting an agenda item on without any communication prior of what that scope is. There's a lot of questions to be answered regarding the scope of that survey, who's getting it, what's the intention, what's the purpose that haven't been answered. And so we're hoping as a coaching staff to have the opportunity to talk to you before that decision is made in a more or a different setting to go over and define what is the purpose of the survey and what are we hoping to gain from it that we don't already do. We've got surveys to parents, we've got surveys to players through our evaluation system, so what more is being desired, I guess.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty. Mr. Novinsky.
I have two issues to talk about. I'll talk about the first one, and then when they get talking about 4K, I'll join them also. Guys, I believe in evaluations. I enjoy evaluations, but I don't think this is going to serve your purpose. I think this is going to create a lynch mob to get rid of coaches. You can't find coaches now. Coaches put a lot of time and energy into it. And I don't think this is a tool you want to improve coaching. I really don't. I think there's better ways that you can do this. I'm just telling you from my coaching fraternity, I probably received 30 emails asking me to come to this board meeting to speak about that. That a lot of these coaches just don't want this. They think that it isn't going to improve their coaching. It's just going to be something to get them fired. That's what they feel. The second issue I'll talk later.
Okay, I just want to address that real quick. I stopped the timer in case you want to talk more after this, but the agenda item is to establish a committee to look at whether there are resources or survey items, and that committee, the conversation amongst the board would be who would be on that committee, whether it be the athletic director, coaches, members of the teaching staff, parents, public. Not necessarily to impact change, but to say what is necessary and what would be beneficial to this district. So I understand your concern, but we're at the point to say, not should we hire this group to do this survey, but to put a group of people together to look at it and then evaluate whether it's in the best interest of the district.
And I agree that there's nothing wrong with getting people evaluated, and it's great and everything like that, but I just question whether or not anybody, even though it's a survey I do for the administration and you, when I don't put my name on it, there's not much validity to it to me. You understand? I filled out one for you, and I don't really like that. I like to be able to put my name on it so you know exactly who I am and why I'm saying this. Because if you don't know who it is, you don't know why they're sending it. You don't even know who it is. So it's a problem.
There were two others with their up in the back. Yep.
Hi, I'm here to talk about the 4K issue again. My name is Casey Negocian, 2257 Lakeshore Drive in Knowlton. I am curious about what the state of the status of the site at the elementary school is for 4K. And I would ask the board again to please consider keeping that site open for multiple reasons. There are 27 families that, in addition to mine, made a decision that this was the best solution for their children for 4K. I don't think that holding a site at the elementary school takes away from it being a community program. WASA holds what they consider to be a community program. It's a much larger population, I understand that. But they have just completely restructured their 4K program because they believe so much that 4K is important to them, and where they have 4K, what they call academic centers, in addition to their 6 community sites. It is possible to have both. It is possible to have a blended program, and I would really encourage the board to consider that as an option.
Thank you.
Shannon Rafflick, 2030 Bluebird Lane.
I'm also here as an advocate for the 4K site at the Mosinee Elementary School. I was one of the families that signed my son up there because he's been in a preschool, the same preschool all his life, and I thought this would be a great stepping stone for him to go to kindergarten instead of making him switch to a different preschool and then switch again to a kindergarten program. So I guess I just wanted the board to know that there are people out there who need this, and it's a good choice for their kids, like she said, and so I just wanted to come here and be an advocate for that tonight.
Thank you. I think that was it.
I'll finish.
Okay, yeah, so Zach Seabold, athletic director. I just wanted to kind of be here, and I just wanted to speak a little bit briefly on the, I guess, the communication component of this survey. I think just advocating for my team of coaches, they do an exceptional job. You know, for example, Andy's spent, I think, 20 hours the last couple weeks doing concessions for track meets. They're year-round committed. So, you know, we try to preserve a culture of just transparency and respect and honor. And I think there was just a perception that when that was all of a sudden on the agenda, something with an athletic survey, I had no idea what to tell them. They had no idea. So we didn't really have I couldn't answer a lot of questions. What is it going to be used for? Who's going to oversee it? Why, if we already do this, are we going to be paying for it now? So there was just questions that kind of came about with why this was on the agenda without any prior notice. And I think that's where some of the concern came from. And then, you know, potential with the cost too. I mean, they're spending a lot of time and effort, you know, fundraising, as obviously our budget's not increasing with increased demands. So, you know, they're looking at that fiscal component as well. So just thoughts to consider, so.
Mine isn't really about the 4K program, but thank you for serving. I was a school board member with Mike, so I understand what you go through, and I know this 4K thing is a really hot topic. Trust me, it's amazing. I can't believe how hot it is. But my question to all of you, and to Ann, and to maybe your lawyer is, I've been reading the Wisconsin Open Meeting Laws guidance and the compliance, and I also read what happened with Lincoln County District Attorney actually filing charges against the Merrill School Board. And I went through the compliance section of it, and I have a hard time, and I may be wrong, a hard time where the 4K thing fits under the compliance of the closed session meeting requirements. So I really like you to look into that and come back to me, because it's really kind of a neat thing. You ought to read it. It's really kind of cool about what you go into closed session for and what you can't. So I just like you to find out if that's really something you could do, and maybe I'm wrong. But I do know the Merrill School Board was filed charges for doing something similar to that. Okay? Yeah?
You can address that because the service providers are a contracted provider to the school board.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Okay.
Because we're discussing a contract that we have with someone.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Mr. Levinsky.
Yep.
Thank you too for the public for sticking around. I know we were in closed session there for quite a while, so. Moving on to item number 10, old business, discussion and possible decision, review of the current 4K program and making a decision on the direction and implementation of the 4K program for the 2017-2018 school year.
I make a motion that we keep the 4K program as presented at the there should be 3 sections at the elementary school.
I'll second
So we have a motion and a second, further discussion from the board. Hearing none, we'll do roll call vote.
Okay. Tomczyk?
Yes.
Zebro? No. Alice?
No.
Barnes?
No.
Lewis?
Yes.
Gorman? No. Kaiser?
Yes.
Kramer? No. Thiel?
No.
We have 3 yes and 6 no.
Motion fails.
I will make a motion to provide 2 sections at the elementary school for the 2017-18 school year.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second, further discussion from the board. Hearing none.
Does that motion, how is the 2 sections going to be administered to the people that had signed up for the school site?
Do you want to include something in your motion?
What we're going to do is Okay. I will amend the motion to ask the administrative staff to monitor the numbers, what they feel we could fit in our sections, 2 sections per month, based on what they feel.
Okay.
Okay, Corey, amend the motion.
Your motion, kiddo.
Help guide it a
Yes,
little bit
well, I
here.
thought we were gonna keep it
We will
2, so-
support the 28 individuals or 29 individuals who currently enrolled their children in that site. Is that what?
That is fine, sure.
Could you read that motion back?
Yeah.
Support the currently enrolled parents who enrolled their children in those.
Current's probably not the right word
Yeah.
because,
Committed.
yeah,
Originally requested.
originally requested.
Originally, 29 students who were originally requested.
So could you read the
Those who
motion?
originally requested enrollment. In the four-grade program for 2017-18.
Yes.
That sounds right?
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Can you just read that back?
Sure.
Thank you.
A motion, Diane made the motion to support those who originally requested enrollment in the book pay program for the 2017-18 school year. Sound okay?
Can
I ask one
That's
question?
not clear.
Can I ask one question about that? Or in discussion, are we?
We don't have a motion formed
Not
yet.
yet.
Okay.
We're forming a motion by committee.
Could you capture the 2 sections?
Yes. Oh, no, I'm sorry, yes, that was at the beginning. Okay, so she made a motion to approve 2 sections at the elementary school and will support those parents who originally requested enrollment in the program for the 2017-18 school year.
Support meaning,
I would define it as reaching out to them to re-enroll their children.
that's why I want to clarify.
And
This could be the longest motion ever.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing.
Yeah, we need to be clear, I agree, Corey.
No, it's important that, if we would have took some time to discuss the issue tonight, prior to open session, to know where everybody stood, so that we would be clear when we came to open session. That would have been very helpful. People would have, had a discussion and fought for what they believed in, and then brought that right back to open session. That would have made things a lot clearer.
okay, should we try that? Okay, a motion to approve 2 sections of 4K at the elementary school and support those who originally requested enrollment in the 4K program for the 2017-18 school year in reaching out to them and informing them to re-enroll their children.
I'll second it.
Further discussion from the board.
How many students per section is that going to create?
Section 14 and section 15.
Somebody drops out, can somebody
Speak up, I can't hear you.
If one of the 29 drops out, can we pick up somebody else? As long as I don't exceed 29, is that the direction?
I'm not giving you a direction on enrollment. If you want to go to 16, go to 16.
We're giving
You want to go to,
the
if you think you can go to 17, go to 17. We're giving two sections.
2 sections.
So you're not capping?
No.
Correct.
Not
Okay.
counting that.
Okay. Is Carolyn the person who seconded?
Second by Kelly.
Kelly, okay.
Well, further discussion from the board. Hearing none, roll call vote.
Barnes?
Yes.
Hewis?
No.
Gorman?
Yes.
Kaiser?
Yes.
Kramer?
Yes.
Field?
Yes.
Tomcheck?
No.
Zebro?
Yes.
Alice?
Yes,
We have 2 no and 7 yes.
motion carries. Any further discussion on item 10A? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 10B, which is discussion and possible decision, revenue limit exemptions for energy efficiency.
So I just wanted to do an update with the board on looking for your direction. At our April board meeting, we had Megan Levy, the local energy program manager from the Wisconsin Office of Energy, on hand. She shared with you the presentation that I shared again with you in your board packet. Since our last meeting, we prepared a list of projects for Megan Levy to review, and we shared that list of projects with you. Megan will be working with us to develop requests for proposal for those items. I guess I would like that to be a formal board action, is approval to have go out for a request for proposal for those projects that we identified through Megan, with Megan. Would the board be willing to make a motion that yes, we should go out to request for a proposal for those projects? What that will do is that will give you a number and you will understand better what the cost of those projects are.
Is there a cost to getting those proposals,
No,
other than staff time working on it?
right.
So out of all the projects that we have, this is a couple, quite honestly, brought with this
Right, that's
potential
your
path
first,
for solution.
yeah, that's your first, and I will say since then, I've had several of you contact me and say, since you've seen this, say, why not this, why not this, why not that? I thought this was a place for us to start, based upon what Brent and Steve Kaiser and had a conversation with Megan Levy on.
I would encourage that's part of a strategic planning session somehow.
Sure, absolutely.
I would so move.
I'll second.
So we have a motion by Mike Kaiser, second by Mark Lewis. Further discussion from the board.
So the end result of going out and finding getting the request for proposals would be put a dollar figure on what the cost of these projects would be and finding out what monies would be
Correct.
reimbursed by
Energy efficiencies,
energy efficiency.
correct.
So this would have
Payback dollars.
this would have no impact to our mill rate
No,
if we
it
go
may,
forward?
it may, absolutely, it may have an impact.
How would it have an impact to the mill rate if we're not allowing the public to speak for the cost of our mill rate?
You would have to hold, if it does impact, then we would have a public meeting.
Have a public meeting?
Yeah.
It'd be noticed and
Yeah.
public would know, okay, we're gonna go forward with these projects because we're gonna get money from the state. And if we go
Yes.
forward with these projects, it's gonna cost your mill rate.
Yes.
And we don't have to have a referendum to do the mill rate
No.
change? We just have to inform them of it?
Right, and they have to have the chance to come back and to say no to it. You know, they have to have a chance to come and talk with you about that. the board
So
does.
how do they get to say no? Just in the public forum arena or? I don't know.
They can basically petition to have a referendum.
Petition to have a referendum.
Yeah, they've got 30 days.
This link kind of
So
outlines.
if we decide that we're going to go forward with these projects, we're going to tell the public that we want to go forward with these projects because we can get some monies back on the project.
You'd probably get some
Let me
focus on it.
finish. We can get some monies back on the project. But, Mr. Taxpayer, because we want to do these projects, we're going to raise the mill rate, and you're going to have it calculated for us, so many cents per thousand, so that we can do these projects. And the only way you can stop us is if you petition to hold a referendum about it. Okay. I just want to make sure that the board understands what they're going forward with.
And this is just preliminary.
Come on.
Yeah, but it's important, I think everybody understands it. So each project will come in front of the board as a separate line item for approval.
My understanding is you'd have a package of items that you put together, not each item.
That's where.
And then you bring in your Ellers, your financial advisor, the structured bonds, if it turns out to be, $10 million or whatever it may be.
Some of the projects may be connected to Kevin. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You'll be
It's
able to
just,
see,
I
yeah.
think the scope of those projects and what they're gonna do for the district is really what should be communicated here. And potentially what, how much we're paying dollar for dollar, how much focus and energy is compensating us for the dollar we spend and compensation back.
That's what you'll see in
That's
the request.
absolutely critical to
Yep,
communicate.
that's what you'll see. I mean, so that's what we're looking forward, is that I'm looking for a motion for the board to say, go and do that, go get that information for me and bring it back to us.
So we have a motion and a second, further discussion. Just a comment, have they seen our entire list, just to make sure that there's nothing on there that could apply? And I know these are
Steve, has
specific to
Megan-
HVAC, but I
Has
go back
Megan,
to,
has Megan seen the entire, I mean, she saw the entire CISA report.
I share stuff with her. She does have to come back and say, we have to have a meeting. You know, she's been very hard to corral, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we put the information out to her as a good baseline. I said, this is a good starting point. I wanted her to review this, see if it falls in the right parameters.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about other things as well, because, like I said, it's kind of new for me, what's acceptable, what you can do, what and where. And that's why I need her guidance to say, either it'll be acceptable or fall in that realm and will not. And there's lots of items in every school, there's lots of different things. Like I said, one of the issues that come up is there's been different schools that use it in the wrong light, and that has caused problems. But we want to make sure we got the right information in front of us.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
it does.
We need time to digest some of that, but she has to be here as well.
And I go back to that example that's maybe best known, a little bit local, is the Kekana example, and what they did within their district.
Right.
And,
It's pretty impressive what they did.
yeah,
Well, but regardless, these are all issues we have
Yeah.
in our facilities, and understanding what a realistic cost to address each of those issues is useful information to us. Support the motion.
any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 10C, discussion and possible decision, approval of the development of an athletic activities survey committee.
So at our April 17th, we had a proposal to conduct an athletic survey. That agenda item was tabled. We've talked about that since. If the board would like to move forward on this issue, then what you could do is make a motion to develop a committee, which could include the athletic activities director, coaches, advisor, board members, and parents, to discuss the issue and bring it forward to the full board for a discussion and possible decision on whether or not to contract with School Perceptions to conduct an athletic survey.
Mr. Barnes, this was your issue. How big of a committee are you looking to form?
Well, I think that's a strong statement that this was my issue to address
No.
specifically.
Sorry
However,
if I was wrong.
I do think it's a good idea. I think it's a worthwhile exercise to put a group of 6 to 8 individuals from different perspectives within the athletic community, whether they be citizens, parents, coaches, athletic director. But this also addresses other activities, so theater, choir, all these external things that the school district supports. I'd like to see a group of them to get together and address what information would be useful to them if what they currently have is acceptable, and potentially look at one of the services provided by School Perceptions and see if that's something that would be a good fit and useful to this district. I don't know what the answer from that committee would be, or if there's new things that would be a request to this board to help make that a better program.
Further discussion or any decisions by the board?
So you're kind of doing like a double, you're looking maybe to form a committee within like coaches, staff, parents, board versus the school perception? Or getting the group together and then seeing what works better?
I think before making a decision to utilize any vendor or any service, it would make sense in this situation to have a group of individuals who are vested in the success of these programs get together and identify any needs that they have, or whether any of these products would be helpful to them and their programs. And that's accomplished in a conversation. I don't think that would be a long-standing committee to address these issues. But I do agree when I heard, I think Mr. McCarty brought it up, that I'd like a voice at the table. I'd like to hear what he has to say.
So am I hearing a motion, Mr. Barnes?
Sure, I'll make a motion for the board to authorize the establishment of a committee not to exceed 10 individuals, to include myself.
Would you chair it?
Sure. Add that.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
Mark, you was seconded. Further discussion?
So you're just gonna, how are you gonna pick the people? You're just gonna ask for,
I think my first thing would be to call Zach and say, who's interested in this, and who might be interested in being involved.
That would be weird that none of them are interested, or not many of them are interested in it.
Well, I can tell you when this first came up, Zach reached out to me and said, hey, I'd like to talk to you about that, so I think our athletic director's interested in being involved. I just heard from Mr. McCarty that he's interested in sharing his thoughts, so I don't think all of them are interested in being heard, and I wouldn't expect them to. But I don't think it would be difficult to put a group of people together to look at this issue.
Further discussion from the board?
and you would just bring back something forward at the next meeting after you get together with these people? Or when would you bring it back?
Well, I think when we've concluded
Okay.
meeting and coming up
So
with
maybe a meeting or
recommendations, if
two.
any.
Recommendations or actionable items.
Right.
I think what's important to note here is we don't understand what that mechanism looks like. It's not necessarily a coaching evaluation. I know there was some information that was shared in the agenda and background information of the last meeting. Again, this is, there's, you don't have any, you'll develop division with the group, correct?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
So the intent is improvement.
So Matt, are you looking at then all the extra curriculum, like the drama and the student senate and DECA and all those groups?
I think that's part of the conversation, is if there'd be value to them.
Well, if you're gonna, and I personally think the school has been surveyed to death, to be truthful, but